As speculation swirls around the president in absentia's health, maybe he can crack a Coke with Mexican sugar to help this medicine, our breaking sick making proof of performance. Story from earlier on CNN. Let's see if that Mexican sugar from earlier this week can help today's brutal medicine go down any easier.
This week, President Trump, a fan of the soda, announced Coca-Cola agreed to go back to using real cane sugar in its signature drink, like manufacturers still do in Mexico. Coke, for its part, has not confirmed any change.
How sweet it isn't. That's how you could describe today's brutal bomb from CNN, and it's going to be gut-wrenching, well, especially if this is your gut. Now, as you know, Trump's tariffs, which have been touted by the administration as a tool to increase the United States' domestic manufacturing capabilities, well, they've been a focal point of the president's second term, and they've been placed on hundreds of countries. However, a federal court ruled Sunday that the tariffs were unlawful. Now, you might ask, what does Arch Manning's performance last Saturday in Columbus have to do with our breaking story today? Well, please stick around, and you'll see both the reference and the similarities.
I'm a choker, I'm a trash can, and I went ghost when Texas needed me the most. I would be flipping burgers at McDonald's if my last name wasn't Manning, because I shat all over that field this afternoon.
Ooh, okay, now let's run with the McDonald's reference, because this report that we're about to show you, it is so nauseating. It certainly will be to an already queasy-looking commander-in-chief. Let's first set the table with an extra-large order of Trump's special chicken-out tariff McNuggets. On the other side, Henry Enton on CNN feeds these delicious next words right back to Trump.
Later, in the face of unrelenting economic warfare, the United States can no longer continue with a policy of unilateral economic surrender. We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for their military. We pay for everything they have to pay, and then when you want to cut back a little bit, they get upset that you're not taking care of them any longer. But we have to take care of our people, and we're going to take care of our people first, and I'm sorry to say that. And today we're standing up for the American worker, and we are finally putting America first.
Happy Labor Day, everybody. While Trump has certainly mastered the art of deception, well, the numbers, they don't lie. And this CNN early morning report should add additional rigor mortis to today's episode from the Occupy Democrats Theater of the Absurd's presentation of A Weekend at Donald's. Here's CNN's brutally toxic Trump poll.
All right, new this morning, President Trump's efforts to reshape the nation's trade policy have taken a hit after a federal appeals court ruled that most of his sweeping global tariffs are unlawful. However, the ruling will not take effect until at least October 14th. Now, that gives the Trump administration time to file an appeal with the Supreme Court. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton, joins me now on how Americans are feeling about tariffs. And it's interesting, you and I were talking about this. I never viewed tariffs as popular with Americans, but at least for Trump's base and supporters, at one point, they were really giving him the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, they really were, Bianna. And I will note, it was not just the base. It was the overall American public. And they have turned against tariffs the same way college football pundits have turned against Arch Manning after his performance in Columbus on Saturday. Look at this. New tariffs on imported goods. You go back to November of 2024. Look, the popular position was favor. They favored new tariffs on imported goods. 52%, 48% opposed. You go to this side of the ledger. Look at that. The opposition up like a rocket. We're talking about 60% opposing new tariffs compared to just 40% who favored. So it was majority favor back when Trump was reelected in November of 2024. Now it's a clear 3 in 5 Americans oppose it. The Americans have gotten a taste of the tariffs and they spit it right out.
So is the taste paying more? I mean, because that's how economists have always described this, as actually a tax on consumers.
Yes, exactly. Why is the opposition up like a rocket? Well, it all comes down to money out of the pocketbook, right? Impact of tariffs on prices. Look at this in the short term. 77% of Americans now agree they raise prices in the short term. Look at this itty bitty number at the bottom. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. When you in fact can count it on your own hand, you know it's a small percentage. Just 4% of Americans believe that in the short term, tariffs decrease prices. Long term, look, this has long been the Donald Trump argument, right? That even if they're short term pain, in the long term will pay off. Not according to Americans. Impact of tariffs on prices, even over the long term, look at that. 50% say increase. Just 25%, just half the level, say decrease. And while 25% in this particular case is better than 4%, 25% is way less than 50% of Americans who say that, in fact, prices will increase over the long term because of tariffs.
Can you do me a favor and go find who the 4% are?
I will go ahead. I will do some
there's even
on-the-street
4% of
reporting.
Americans.
I'm sure I can go out to Times Square and see what I can find out there.
Okay, but in all seriousness, from the tariff policy to the trade policy, how is it impacting Trump's overall approval?
Right, okay. If this was happening in a bubble, right, and it was, okay, I don't like tariffs, but it isn't impacting my overall view of Trump, I think Trump would be like, forget about it, doesn't matter. But this is why the political implications are so important, because Fox News literally asked, what's the top reason that Trump's doing a bad job? What ranks as number one? The economy, and tariffs ranks as number one. The number one reason why those who disapprove of Trump think he's doing a bad job, it comes right back to tariffs. The bottom line is this: when prices go up, presidential approval ratings go down, and that's exactly what we are seeing in the polling
Perhaps
data.
this was the deflection that Ron Brownstein was talking about in a segment in the last hour about the increase in these ICE raids, because they're deflecting from something the president is not happy about.
That's often something that Donald Trump will do, is if he sees something he doesn't like, he's going to go in the other direction and try and bring the American mindset with him.
All right. Harry Anton, good to be with you.
Nice.
Okay, let's round out this Labor Day by taking you to the Athens of America. Wow, that once really meant something. And show you the antithesis energy of feel, Trump, Vance, and vote. The resistance again takes us up to Boston. And to quote Trump's billionaire bro and fellow lech, Vince McMahon, it's pick'em time, Bruno.
Good morning, union siblings. Thank you, Darlene, the Greater Boston Labor Council, but mostly all of you for being here to mark this year's Labor Day, which is our annual reminder that it is the working class that is the backbone of America, not the billionaires.